All right, let's talk about a feeling that, well, pretty much all of us know, anxiety. But today, we're going to look at it from a really surprising angle. We'll dig into its super ancient roots and get this, a scientifically backed way to actually get it under control. So, yeah, let's dive right in. So, picture this. You're just scrolling through your phone, right? And bam, there it is, a friend's brand new car, or maybe these incredible vacation photos. And you feel that little pang in your stomach. It's kind of like jealousy, but maybe something deeper, like inadequacy? You get that feeling that you're falling behind, and everyone else is just speeding past you. Well, turns out that feeling actually has a name: status anxiety. The philosopher Erokhane came up with it, and it's basically this deep worry that we're not living up to society's idea of success. We're constantly comparing ourselves, and we're terrified that in everyone else's eyes, we just don't measure up. And man, that fear can be a really powerful and honestly, a pretty painful thing in our lives today.
So what's the deal? Why are we so prone to feeling this way? Is it all just because of social media and our crazy hyper-connected world? Well, the triggers, yeah, they're definitely modern, but the root cause, that goes way, way back.
Here's a great way to think about it. Your brain is kind of like a brand new supercomputer, but it's running on really, really ancient software. See, evolutionary psychology tells us that a lot of our emotions and behaviors today were basically programmed into us to solve the survival problems our ancestors faced, like thousands of years ago. That software was perfect for their world, but in our world, sometimes it really glitches out. And this is a perfect example of that mismatch. I mean, check this out. If you ask people what they're afraid of, you're way more likely to hear spiders and snakes than guns or bombs. But statistically, modern weapons are so much more dangerous. It's wild, right? And the reason is simple. For thousands and thousands of years, our survival depended on avoiding venomous, creepy crawlies. That fear is hardwired into us. We just haven't been around bombs long enough for our brains to catch up and develop that same instinctual fear. And it's the exact same deal with food. Think about it. For our ancestors, finding high-calorie stuff was a huge win because you never knew where your next meal was coming from. So, naturally, our brains evolved to crave fats and sugars. Fast forward to today, when you can get a donut on every corner, and that same ancient programming is a major reason for things like obesity and heart disease. It's like a survival feature that is totally turned into a bug. Okay, so you've got this ancient software, this deep need to fit in and measure up to survive, and it smashes right into the unique pressures of our modern world. And what you get is, well, it's the perfect storm for anxiety.
And seriously, don't think for a second that this is just a regular person problem. As Debatin points out, even someone like Bill Gates feels this stuff. Why? Because the key is, we don't compare ourselves to just anybody. We compare ourselves to people we see as our peers. So the goalposts for what success means are constantly shifting. It doesn't matter how much you achieve, that anxiety can always creep in. And our modern world just pours gasoline on this ancient fire. Social media feeds, they're basically just a non-stop highlight reel of everyone else's greatest hits. Then you have growing income inequality, which makes the gaps between people feel massive. And on top of it all, we have this cultural story that says your net worth equals your self-worth. It's a recipe for disaster.
So if you dig down to the absolute root of this anxiety, what do you find? Researchers say it's one thing: shame. It's not just being worried you don't have enough stuff, it's this deep, really painful fear that not having that stuff means you as a person are somehow defective or not worthy of respect. It's a heavy, heavy feeling. But here's the good news. Knowing that's the core of the problem is the first step to figuring out how to fix it. And that is exactly where we're going next. Because look, I know this all sounds a little bleak, but understanding how it works is half the battle. And it turns out there's this surprisingly simple but incredibly powerful tool that can help us kind of hack our own brains and get back a sense of control. Okay, quick question for you. What could a global pop superstar, one of the greatest tennis players of all time, and a Hall of Fame baseball player possibly have in common, especially when it comes to handling insane amounts of pressure? The answer is they all use rituals. Before every single show, Beyonce has the exact same routine. Serena has that super specific 5-bounce thing she does before her first serve. And Wade Boggs famously had to eat chicken before every single game. Now, these aren't just quirks or random habits. They're structured, repetitive things they do to get a handle on that huge performance anxiety. So let's get specific. What exactly is a ritual from a scientific point of view? Well, it's a set sequence of actions.
They're usually repetitive, they feel symbolic, but, and this is the most important part, they don't have a direct, practical purpose. Bouncing a tennis ball 5 times instead of, say, 4 doesn't actually make the ball go over the net better. But what it does, psychologically, that's where the magic is.
And this isn't just some weird thing that famous people do. Scientists have actually studied this, putting rituals to the test in the lab. And what they found is, well, it's pretty incredible.
Okay, get this. In one really clever study, researchers created a super high anxiety situation. They told people they had to sing "Don't Stop Believing" in public, in front of a stranger. I know, nightmare fuel. But before they sang, they split them into 2 groups. One group had to do this simple ritual: draw how they felt, sprinkle some salt on it, count to 5, and then toss the paper. The other group, they just had to sit there and wait. Now check out these results. It's not even close. The group that did the ritual, they sang way more accurately. And this wasn't just someone's opinion. Their performance was objectively better, measured by software. That is a huge difference. And it had nothing to do with who was a better singer. It was all about what they did right before they had to perform. So how on earth did that happen? Well, it wasn't magic. The ritual directly attacked the anxiety. The people who did the ritual said they felt almost 1.3 times less anxious than the people who just waited. Let me put that another way. That's almost a 30% drop in anxiety. By taking all that nervous energy and channeling it into a structured, simple action, they literally calmed their brains down. And that freed up the mental space they needed to just focus and sing.
But wait, because here's the absolute wildest part of the whole thing. In other experiments, they found that the specific actions don't really matter. What matters is that you believe you're doing a ritual. When they had people do the exact same things, sprinkling salt, counting to 5, but told them they were just random tasks, guess what? The anxiety-reducing effect completely vanished. The power isn't in the salt, it's in your head. It's about framing it as something meaningful.
Okay, so now that we know all this stuff about our ancient brains and this crazy ritual hack, how do we actually use it in our own lives? This is where we take it out of the lab and into the real world to redefine what success and control actually feel like for us.
So here are a few really practical ideas. First, if you're an anxious online shopper, create a little pause ritual. Before you buy anything, just leave it in your cart overnight. That's it. Second, take charge of your social media feed. Make it a ritual to unfollow any account that makes you feel bad about yourself. And third, and this is the most important one, create a small ritual around defining what success means to you, without anyone else's input.
And honestly, the best part about all this is that you don't need some big, complicated ceremony. The real power, the thing that works in the lab and in your life, is that feeling of taking back control. It can be so simple, it can be making your morning coffee the exact same way every single day before you start work. It's about creating your own little personal island of order in a world that feels pretty chaotic.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. In a world that is just built to trigger all these ancient anxieties, what's one small, personal ritual you could create for yourself? Something to help you quiet that noise, dial down the anxiety, and just reclaim your focus.